A priceless guitar ends up in the wrong hands. Who sold their soul for rock and roll?
It's got a good beat. I think the jury's going to dance to it.
New Elementary, CBS Sunday.
Want hair that shines like a diamond? Schwarzkopf presents Color Ultime, now with Diamond Brilliance Serum. Vibrant color for up to 9 weeks. Be bold and brilliant. Color Ultime. Love it or your money back. From Schwarzkopf.
Starting Friday at Kohl's, save on great brands for a healthy home and get Kohl's Cash. Cut carbs with a spiralizer and get $20 Kohl's Cash. Pick up an air purifier and get $40 Kohl's Cash. Or a Nest thermostat and get $50 Kohl's Cash. Kohl's.
Whether it's anniversary night or just another weeknight, there's Viagra single packs for guys with ED.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
Steven talks Trump's tax returns, plus Jessica Lange. All new tonight.
Tourists are always the easiest targets.
When Americans get in trouble abroad.
Welcome to Colombia.
This team of FBI experts
Let's go.
will save them.
Everybody clear!
There's no telling what dangers more Americans might find themselves in.
New Criminal Minds Beyond Borders. CBS next Wednesday, or stream it live or on demand.
On the scene, on the story. News on 6 starts now.
The Oklahoma State Senate unanimously votes to punish Republican State Senator Ralph Shorty, and tomorrow the Cleveland County District Attorney is expected to file criminal charges against him. More police presented their case to the DA's office late this afternoon.
Last week, officers found Shorty in a room at a Super 8 motel with a teenage boy. And new tonight, News on 6 has a copy of the police incident report. The teenager's father told officers he saw his son go into a motel room with a man. The father's girlfriend says the teenager has a history of soliciting himself for sex on Craigslist, and that the teen also has a history of drug abuse. Officers say there was a strong smell of marijuana coming from the room. When officers told Shorty to open the door because they knew a minor was in there with him, he told the officers he was alone. When he finally did open the door, Shorty was in the room with the teenager. Shorty said the two were there just to hang out. The teenager told officers he'd known Shorty for about a year and that he used to sell marijuana to him. Well, again, the Cleveland County District Attorney is expected to file criminal charges against Ralph Shorty tomorrow. We'll have the latest for you on the air, online, and with push alerts on your phone. Just text 6CONNECT to 79640 for all of our breaking news and weather updates.
And this is not the first sex scandal to surface during this legislative session. Fear of retaliation, explicit texts, requests for topless pictures are all allegations made this year against Oklahoma lawmakers. A sexual harassment investigation by a House committee led to the resignation of Tulsa Republican Dan Kirby and sensitivity training for Democrat William Forkiller. But a current Capitol aide tells News on 6 reporter Grant Herms the problems go even deeper.
Maybe into my second week when it was kind of pulled aside. Don't be alone with this member. Don't be alone with that member. This member will probably try and do this. This member will tell you that.
This is Jane. She's a legislative assistant in the House of Representatives. She agreed to speak about the claims of sexual harassment made by staffers with her identity hidden.
These claims are frequent unwanted touching, comments on body parts, comments on dreams that that person has had, sexually explicit dreams. Really just awful things.
At the time of the sexual harassment investigation into Representative Dan Kirby, Speaker of the House Charles McCall said there is simply no excuse for sexual harassment by lawmakers at the Capitol. But according to Jane, harassment and claims aren't seriously investigated.
If you can't understand that leaving a note on your assistant's desk that says, "I couldn't stop staring at your boobs today," if you're not sure if that's inappropriate or not, I think that you have a real misunderstanding of what sexual harassment is.
News 9 asked the House for all sexual harassment complaints dating back to January of 2010, but the House's lawyer says under state law, they are not required to release those records. The law they're talking about is the Open Records Act for the state, but lawmakers here have exempted themselves from public requests, effectively shutting off the people from the people's house.
About 50% of women can expect to be sexually harassed at some point during their working careers.
Mark Bellino is a professor of management at OU. Since the Capitol records are off limits, we asked him to explain how detrimental sexual harassment can be in the workplace.
I think the fear of retaliation is the number one issue.
And those fears make workplaces less productive.
Incivility in the workplace in general, it harms people's psychological well-being, their health, it harms their job attitudes, it harms their productivity, it undermines their willingness to go the extra mile for the organizations.
Most experts agree adequate training is the right way to deal with widespread sexual harassment, but at the Capitol, lawmakers don't regularly receive that training. While the state guidelines for harassment and reporting it are outlined in one manual, there's no mention of it in the handbook given to assistants. The investigation into Kirby and Forkiller did lead to recommendations that each member take annual training and require the speaker to write specific procedures to deal with sexual harassment. But Jane doesn't know if things will change for the better.
I would say amongst a large portion of the members, it's apathy. Amongst the LAs that I've spoken with, it's been cautious optimism that things might change.
In Oklahoma City, Grant Herms, 6 Investigates.
House Speaker Charles McCall tells us he and employees in Human Resources take sexual harassment complaints seriously. He says he makes sure any claims brought to his attention are thoroughly investigated. We have breaking news to tell you about tonight in Broken Arrow. Christopher Ramsey sent us some video of a fire in Broken Arrow near Elm and Broadway. It appears a house and the grass are both on fire. This is actually a live picture. We'll get to that video coming up in just a moment. You can see firefighters working there. Looks like they've got things put out. Let's show you that video now of that viewer video that was sent in to us. As you can tell, just a little bit earlier this evening, Christopher Ramsey's video shows some flames and quite a bit of smoke coming from that house fire. We don't know the extent of anybody in the house, if anybody was in there, or any extent of injuries. We'll bring you more information as it becomes available.
New tonight, 3 people had to go to the hospital after a crash in the 600 block of MLK Boulevard. Police say a car headed northbound lost control and crashed into a power pole and then into the intersection where it hit a pickup. At this time, we're told none of the victims' injuries are life-threatening. More earthquakes today near Pawnee. The U.S. Geological Survey reports a 3.2 quake this morning. No injuries or damage are reported, and geologists say damage is not likely in quakes below magnitude 4.0. Back in September, a 5.6 quake, the biggest ever recorded in Oklahoma, rocked that same area. And a nearly 100-year-old building in Cushing will have to come down after its front facade collapsed yesterday. The Lion's Den was one of the downtown buildings damaged back in November in a 5.0 earthquake.
Well, here is a live look from the Osage Casino Skycam network of the BOK Center, where right now crews are preparing the arena for nonstop basketball action.
Oh, it's a big deal. The NCAA Tournament last came to Tulsa 6 years ago. News on 6 reporter Marty Casper is live on the scene tonight. And Marty, what does this tournament coming back mean for the city?
Well, first and foremost, this is going to be a big weekend in Tulsa, and not just for basketball fanatics, but really for anyone that just loves the area. The NCAA Tournament is a world-renowned event that will showcase the positive change that has come to T-Town.
To be able to be in-house when somebody hits a half-court shot to win a game.
The excitement is overflowing as the NCAA marches into Tulsa.
It looks phenomenal in there. I mean, it's a first scale, first class, setup.
Upwards of 50,000 people are coming into town.
It's going to be fun, I think, for some of those Kansas fans who were here in 2011 to see this huge change in Tulsa.
At Albert G's Barbecue, workers are gearing up for the B-Ball weekend.
We've got the best barbecue in town, and we've been here, 25 years.
And don't forget St. Patrick's Day fun.
How you feeling?
We're excited. We're ready for everybody. Of course, we have like the corned beef cabbage special that we do on Fridays for St. Patrick's Day.
Getting the NCAA to return has been a citywide effort.
Build it and they will come, and they did. And now it's up to us to show that we're the kind of city that can host these events and do a good job.
And leaders hope that starts by showing off all the new improvements downtown.
We kind of take it for granted, but the change in this area downtown is dramatic.
New shops, restaurants, parks, unique Tulsa experiences.
You can get things you can only get in Tulsa, so we're hoping they stay downtown.
Like Albert G's, all shops are hoping to shine when the spotlight's on.
Whenever you're looking at that basketball court and it says Tulsa across the top, you can't buy that.
Especially with $8 million in revenue up for grabs.
A lot of that will be reflected in sales tax revenue and things that we're all going to benefit from.
Now, I'm told that downtown hotels are nearly sold out. The city is offering free shuttles to help people get around downtown, so once you get down here for the weekend, that will be there for you. Now, while leaders are excited for the visitors, they hope that Tulsans don't miss out on this special weekend, adding that there are still some tickets available. Live on the scene, on the story in Tulsa, Marty Casper, News on 6.
Between March Madness and St. Patrick's Day on Friday, you can expect a lot of traffic in downtown. First, Third, and Frisco around the BOK Center will be blocked off, as will 1st and 2nd Streets between Detroit and Greenwood, along with Elgin between 1st and 3rd Streets in the Blue Dome District. And because of March Madness, some of our newscasts will be on at different times. There's no noon show tomorrow or Friday, and the 6 p.m. news will be a half hour earlier both nights. Then we hope you stay up late with us, because News on 6 at 10 is scheduled to start about 11 o'clock or so after the last game ends for the night. And the best part about all these games being on News on 6, you can watch the OSU Cowboys Friday morning starting at 11:15.
Well, Native American tribes are wondering what will happen to their health care if Republicans' proposed changes go through. News on 6 reporter Annie Chang is live on the story tonight in Tulsa. Annie.
Well, Terry, the proposed health care plan does not even mention Indian health care at all. Some tribes tell me that could be either good or bad for them.
Cherokee member Michelle Scarborough and her family all use Indian health services.
I come in myself and bring my children there and my grandchildren to receive health care from Claremore Indian Health Service.
Back in 2010, President Obama made the Indian Healthcare Improvement Act permanent, making those healthcare services for American Indians and Alaska Natives guaranteed. Tribes were worried Republicans might repeal that law along with the Affordable Care Act.
If this bill is repealed, it's going to be devastating for Indian country.
The Republican plan does not repeal Indian health care, but tribes say it's still too soon to feel relieved.
I should not have to worry about if I'm going to be seen or if there's going to be care available for me or my family, my granddaughter. And I feel like that all Indians feel the same way.
Even though the Indian Healthcare Improvement Act would stay intact in the proposed plan, Medicaid would suffer budget cuts, and those funds are used to reimburse many Indian Health Services resources. The National Indian Health Board released a statement last week saying, in part, due to the vital role the Medicaid program plays in fulfilling the federal trust responsibility, NIHB is extremely concerned about the changes the bill enacts to Medicaid expansion.
I want them to go and fight for every bit of it and not let up and demand that we have health care.
Now, earlier this week, Congressman Tom Cole, who is Chickasaw, introduced a new bill that would protect the Indian Healthcare Improvement Act under all circumstances. That bill will now go to the House committees. Reporting live on the scene on the story in Tulsa, Annie Chang, News on 6.
Some of the largest pieces of play equipment for the Gathering Place will be on view next week. 6 large wooden and metal towers will be driven across Tulsa from a warehouse where they've been assembled. They'll be delivered to the park on semis. Along the way, they'll be driven past a school so children can get an idea of what's coming. Towers with a view.
When it sits up on its pedestal, will be 62 feet tall. It's at its height. So you'll be able to see over the treetops, just over the treetops, the kids will, and be able to see downtown Tulsa.
And by the way, the delivery parade happens next Wednesday morning starting in East Tulsa.
That's a fun
That's gonna
way
be
to
pretty
kick
cool.
things. Yeah, it's a celebration. Well, no rain tonight on the Osage Casino Skycam network, but that could all change by St. Patty's Day. Mike Grogan has your future view forecast in just 6 minutes.
And Tulsa police are making dreams come true, how they're helping 200 Special Olympic athletes get to their competitions.
And next year at 10, new details about this wild chase and crash near Vera.
Wake up your day with the ultimate morning weather team.
The storm system gets closer to us.
Watch out for a few showers if you're coming in from Bartlesville.
Meteorologist Alan Crone takes you through the day, hour by hour.
3 o'clock pickup line weather, scattered storms.
Meteorologist Stacia Knight takes you on the scene, on the story,
We're on the roadway for you this morning.
so you can beat the rush
Big slowdowns in both directions.
and see how weather will impact your drive.
Still some patchy fog going on.
The ultimate morning weather team, only on 6 in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Sammy, I'm making a list of the top 3 reasons why Don Carlton Honda is the best.
Let's hear it.
Number 1, Don Carlton Honda has been in business for over 35 years.
Over 40.
40? Got it. Number 2, most of our employees have been working here for 15 years, and you've been here for 52 years now?
Hey, I'm not that old, 31 years.
Number 3, Don Carlton Honda has always been locally owned and operated by the same family.
Don't forget selling Honda Sammy style.
And Sammy style. Number 4, Don Carlton Honda, 4141 South Memorial.
Okay, so here's the deal. Casinos nationwide continue to have financial difficulties. Some casinos are closing, but there is one casino with low overhead and no debt. A casino that can pay out more, and you can count on that.
I'm sure you've heard what everyone is talking about.
About our loose slots. With low overhead, we can loosen our slots to pay you more. Come see why we're staking claim to the loosest slots in Oklahoma and Missouri at Buffalo Run Casino and Resort, Miami, Oklahoma.
Sunshine Furniture always brings in new products for your home, and you'll want to see them here first. Like these very affordable sectionals and sofas with fabric you can even bleach to keep clean. Or this fabulous bedroom from Flex Deal featuring their great looks and quality at Sunshine's prices. Plus, get 0% financing for up to 48 months on furniture and mattresses. Sunshine Furniture, your home for the best brands and prices with free Wi-Fi to shop and compare.
Sunshine Furniture. It's the anniversary sale at Conn's Home Plus, celebrating 127 years with 27 days of amazing deals. And only Conn's has Yes Money financing. Just go to cons.com on your computer or mobile phone, then join the celebration at Conn's Home Plus.
Backed by popular demand.
Bob Hurley Ford is extending Ford Truck Month one more month. Bob Hurley Ford owns work, giving you the best prices and selection in town on Ford trucks.
That's right. We're celebrating 40 years of America's best-selling truck.
With 12 grand off the Ford F-150 and remaining Super Duties. That's 12 grand off. And this month only, you choose.
Get 10 grand off the 2017 Ford Expedition or 0% for 72 months.
Bob Hurley Ford.
I-44 in the Arkansas River or bobhurleyford.com.
News on 6 is brought to you by Contour from Cox. Control your TV experience.
We have new developments in a chase and crash from last year. Court documents obtained by the Oologah Lake Leader Show. Jeffrey Wood and Rashea Grazier now face several charges from the November 21st crash. During the chase, Wood drove at speeds of up to 120 miles an hour. He finally lost control of the SUV east of Vera in Washington County. Wood crawled out of the window, leaving Grazier behind. Wood has several cases pending against him in addition to the Rogers County charges and is serving a suspended sentence out of Osage County for drug possession with intent to distribute.
Tulsa police officers are huge supporters of Special Olympics in Oklahoma. And tonight, the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge number 93, presented a big donation, $15,000. The money is used to send Green Country Special Olympic athletes to events all over the state and nation.
But when it comes down to the personal touch that the FOP Lodge 93 did 5 years ago and have continued to do that year in and year out, it's an amazing feat. It really is.
This is the 5th year in a row the Lodge has donated to Special Olympics. Because of tonight's donation, 200 athletes will get to go to state, national, and international Special Olympic competitions.
Now, the Oklahoma weather expert, Mike Grogan.
Our weather pattern is in big transition right now, heading to the warmer conditions. Out to the east, though, they're still in the wake of that major nor'easter. Still some snow showers blowing across New England. Behind that, cool, dry air. In fact, very cold, especially for this time of year. Freeze watches and warnings extend from the Midwest all the way south to the Gulf Coast, even northern Florida in the mix for a freeze later tonight. Quite unusual, not so great for folks spring breaking down along that vicinity. Here in eastern Oklahoma, though, we are starting to see things warm up. We have some cloud cover moving in from the northwest. Our next storm system can be seen across the Intermountain West, and that will arrive by Friday. In between then and now, gusty south winds will develop to bring up the warmth and also bring bring back some moisture. You can see the cooler air located off to our east, and that is what we've been sitting in for really the last 4 or 5 days, with the warmer air getting ready to move in from the southwest. The past 7 days have panned out like this. We have seen a major drop in temperatures from last Thursday to at or below normal for the remainder of that week. Tuesday, yesterday, we dipped down to a high of only 43 degrees, almost 20 degrees below normal, and today 53. But as you'll see in the following week, this coming week, we're going to be above normal. So we're kind of at that middle point in the seesaw. We're going to head all the way up to 84 degrees by Monday. Between then and now, we're going to enjoy some nice mild conditions, including on our St. Patrick's Day, and following our big time warmth on Monday, a cool down to near normal for a few days on end. Here's a look outside. About to be a busy sight here at the BOK Center, preparing for March Madness. Our temperatures right now on the cool side, though, especially when you factor in a light breeze out of the south, feeling like 44, with the actual temperature is 47. There is a dew point of 33, so there's starting to be an increase in moisture. Still not a lot, but by tomorrow that will be noticeable as we have scattered showers and drizzle possible by that point. Around eastern Oklahoma, 40s to around 50 is where we'll find our temperatures. 45 in Ada along with Grove, 50 in Eufaula, 49 in McAllister. These numbers are quite a bit warmer than this time yesterday, on the order of 10 to almost 20 degrees warmer in some cases. So we are seeing this warming trend. Though it is cool tonight, you'll especially notice it by tomorrow afternoon. Speaking of which, our future view model is going to show that increase in south winds indicated by the red arrows there. It will bring back fire danger. Unfortunately, that is still with us.